some fun. Howard Schultz is still around. I love how we're in such a mind meld that I said this is fun, and you immediately brought up the Schultz clip. You knew what I was talking about. Much like, Brendan made the point in the office yesterday after the show that Meghan McCain, by being such a, just entitled idiot, is doing us all a favor. Because just like merely her existence. I mean, look, it's definitely the same of Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is not on The View. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. So there's a lot of other, cost benefit analyses. But even Trump, on some level, what they are doing by existing and by having those platforms is just eliminating any of the pretensions around inherited wealth, power, and access in this country. Meghan McCain is the Columbia grad on the panel who seems to act. I re-listened to that clip. In fact, we used it for the Woke Bros that came out today. Subscribe on the bomb feed. And I actually don't think she understands the difference between legacy and legacy admissions. I don't think she's actually trying to muddy the waters. I think she does not actually understand that.
I think there's two. I think that's one hypothesis. The other is that she knows her dad wouldn't have gotten into the Naval Academy without legacy admissions. And she's proud that he did anyway. Maybe
so, but she really speaks as if she does not understand the difference.
She's good at it.
And similarly, Howard Schultz is doing us a favor because he is pulling back the last vestige of any idea. Like, look, obviously, as with anything, there's just a huge amount of luck. So Howard Schultz, as much as he would, I'm sure, hate this, he lucked out. Right place, right time, right generation, right timing. I mean, would a goofy brand like Starbucks take off in 2019 the way it did in the 1990s? I don't think so. There's a whole different sets of trends and preferences. I mean, it's still obviously a successful company.
Can I also make the point that there's a lot of popular, successful coffee companies?
There's a lot of popular, successful coffee companies, and a lot of them are actually not. They're a lot nicer. They aren't just places where you can maybe calculate that it might have a slightly cleaner bathroom in an airport than other places. So, yes. But even beyond that, whatever. The guy's a CEO. He knows how to run a coffee company. Fair enough. He has the arrogance with his such just basic political stupidity to run for the President of the United States is a great revelation of not only the disconnect, but the dangers of the pathological ego of a billionaire. But it's also funny to watch. Here's Howard Schultz talking about the heart of America.
Let's fight for what binds us. It's worth fighting for because the center is the heart of America. And let's be clear about what that heart is. America's heart is principled. It encompasses our core values, and it is our common ground. America's heart is aspirational in its dreams, yet realistic in its plans. In America's heart, common sense and reason prevail.
Like, people will call me a person of means.
Billionaires
not a
are
billionaire.
not the goddamn center of anything.
No. In fact, Howard Schultz, through his money, is a dangerous influence and anti-democratic. That amount of wealth should not accrue in anyone's hands. It's an innate danger, even amongst people who are far more intelligent and civically minded and less delusional than Howard Schultz. And secondly, again, I've done so many segments on this. I will continue to be a broken tape. The center of the United States, by every single objective ethnographic measure that is humanly possible, is some version of quote-unquote socially moderate, not even conservative, and highly left on specific questions of things like single-payer healthcare. Does this quote, and we'll drop in the middle of this. This is AOC distilled this actually also in her conversation with Brianna Joy. Or no.
This is from The View, where they're talking
View.
about whether AOC's policies are way out there if they're moderate.
Okay, and I'm assuming Joy's got some good poll numbers.
Joy comes through here.
Joy usually does. All right, let's check this out.
McConnell said in October that not being about to push through Social Security and Medicare cuts was the single biggest disappointment of my time in Congress. This guy has sent the deficit through the roof and now wants people like you and me and all of us to give money from Social Security and all of the things that we're entitled to in this country. That is a right-wing radical position to take.
That doesn't make it better to say because someone else did something worse.
I would like to.
I'm just showing you both sides.
Well, in terms of AOC, I agree with you. I think the Republicans like to pick somebody as a boogeyman and sort of say, this is the face of the Democratic Party. Let's face it, she's one freshman congresswoman out of 435.
But who has a bigger following than her on social media?
The other thing is that when you proclaim her to be this leftist person, when you look at her policies, I think we need to stop talking about personalities and look at someone's policies. She's talking about the Green New Deal. There was an Iowa poll, Iowa, that just came out that said something like 91% polled say that they prefer a candidate who supports the Green New Deal. In Iowa, 84% say they prefer a candidate who supports shifting to a government-run healthcare system of Medicare for all. 81% care about healthcare. So let's face it,
she's a moderate.
she tends to be, her positions tend to be embraced by people in the middle of the country. So this notion somehow that she is this leftist, left-wing crazy person is not true.
She's talking about
looking at policy.
She said capitalism is irredeemable.
Oh my God. You know, Abby Huntsman usually plays it cooler, but she got into she definitely got into
Meghan McCain was sick that day.
Right, so she had to take on the emotional freak out of the trust fund baby. But I think that it's weird. It's almost as if the two people on that panel that didn't have their lives handed to them are more in touch with reality and more intelligent. It's weird. I mean, it's
funny how that works.
It's funny how that works. So basically, Howard Schultz represents a fringe cult, which is totally marginal in terms of what actual people want in a democracy. But because we live in a plutocracy, it still represents a fundamental danger because it has a totally outsized influence relative to any public appeal simply because of, first and foremost, money, but also the types of PR manipulation and institutional prestige that Liz actually documents in her piece in The Baffler. You see how this all fits together.